Good evening, everybody. It is good to be back, and it is good to be a Mets fan. Happy Monday night to all of you. We are going to cover the New York Mets at the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the start of a four-game series. The New York Mets, I believe, need to win at least 2 of 4. Of course, anything more would be icing on top, but the Mets need to prove that they can go on the road and win some games in a lower pressure situation against a good team. I really am looking forward to that. Good evening to everybody. This is MetropoliFins. We are YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. My name is Craig. So excited to be with you as you come on in, whether you're watching live or on replay. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are going to be with you from start to finish this game from 10 p.m. Eastern until however long it takes to resolve this battle. The good news is the Mets are on the West Coast this week, which I know. Why are you saying is that good news? Well, because with my schedule, I am not able to cover the 7 o'clock games for the time being due to my son being in baseball all-stars because his practices and his games are going on at the same time. But with these West Coast games that are coming up, we're going to be able to cover all of them live from start to finish. So we're going to go ahead and share the screen a little bit here with you. And we're going to go ahead and show you the starting lineups for both the Mets and the Dodgers. Of course, the Mets are the away team. They'll be hitting first. Leading off for the Mets today will be Lindor at short, Nimmo in left, Soto in right, Alonso at first, Jared Young at DH, Brett Beatty playing third base, Tyrone Taylor center field, Jeff McNeil playing second, Francisco Alvarez catching. Paul Blackburn will be making his first start of the season for the New York Mets. New York Mets bench is going to be Luis Angel Acuna, Starling Marte, Luis Torrens, and Swaggy Marky V, Mark Vientos. The starting lineup for the Dodgers tonight is going to be Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, Andy Pages, Max Muncy, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edman, rushing the catcher, and Kim the shortstop with Dustin May. Major League Baseball's version of Carrot Top being the pitcher for the Dodgers here tonight. That means their bench is going to actually be pretty good. It's going to be Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, Will Smith. I must assume that there's something up with Betts. He must be battling some sort of injury or something. I can only imagine that would be the only reason why he would be starting out. Let's see. Yeah, so Mookie Betts missed the entire weekend series against the Yankees. He has a fractured toe right now, so I don't know. Apparently, there's just no known timetable based on everything. Let me see if there's any other updates on this. So this is definitely an opportunity for the Mets to take advantage of the Dodgers lineup being a little bit weaker than normal. But it's not significant enough for the Dodgers to put Mookie Betts on the injured list, so then they're going to just be playing one replacement, one sub down. So if Kike Hernandez, Rojas, and Will Smith as their backup catcher going and being available for that here today. We are waiting for the first pitch. Should be just about any minute. Everyday Mets, how's it going? So we've got this cool little new thing that StreamYard has introduced where comments can post right up on the screen. I can still highlight them big on the bottom left, but your comments are all going to post over there. Before the game gets going, just a reminder that this broadcast, this live stream, is brought to you specifically by the patrons of this channel who are doing an awesome job helping to financially provide for this channel. If you're interested in financially supporting this channel, you can hop on and join them as well. Patreon.com/MetropoliFins. The link is in the chat and on the screen for you as well. I'll just show you if you are a patron. The biggest thing we're offering on there right now is early access. So Patrons got early access to the power rankings. You can see 20 hours ago, they had access to the power rankings, so almost a full day in advance. And that's the big thing that we're doing is early access to some of the videos that we do over there. It's kind of a cool thing as a special thank you to everyone who financially supports the channel. So that's over there. If you're not able to, don't want to, don't like me, don't want to send money my way, that's perfectly fine as well. We just appreciate you being here, hanging out with us here tonight. I have no clue what to expect from Paul Blackburn. I am fingers crossed, but I am going to just say anything under 5 runs, anything under 5 runs would be great. And hopefully the Mets can take advantage of Dustin May. He's not had the most stellar season so far. Mets are ranked number 1 in your power rankings. All right, I have the Mets number 3. And by the way, if you haven't seen my power rankings, that is also in there. They just came out, like I said, last night for the patrons and earlier today for everybody else. Yep, Mookie Betts is out with a fractured toe. Not bad enough to put him on the injured list, but not there. So I won't spoil everything, but I'll just tell you that I got Mets at number 3. That's where I settled them out at this point in time. But we're having fun with the power rankings and kind of taking on this scroll of wisdom theme. It's kind of been fun. All right. So we are ready for the first pitch. Francisco Lindor will be leading off. Dustin May pitching for the Dodgers. Here is the first pitch, and it's a strike right down the middle. Of course, if you missed it yesterday, it was the first time all season that Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso all homered in the same game. I think we should start making that a tradition. That should happen a lot more often. Oh, and Lindor rips it. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It is 1-0. Lindor absolutely crushed it. I'm just not familiar with the Dodgers ballpark that much, so I wasn't for sure. But my goodness, Lindor absolutely crushed it. Well, there you go. There's 1/3 of the trifecta. And that is back-to-back days with home runs for Lindor. Of course, Soto has hit home runs in back-to-back days coming into this game. So we will see. I mean, that was too easy. I'm sorry, like for a major league hitter. I'll show you guys a replay of this. Just for those of you who are just wanting to check this out. This is like the slow-mo replay of this. Let me make it bigger here. Here you go.
Oh boy.
Look at that. Just
Yep, that's way back there.
Absolutely launched. All right, so of course we can't show the whole game live, but we can bring in clips. Yeah, back to back to back. Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Brandon Nimmo now too. So Dustin May looks like he's maybe shook just a little bit coming off of that. I like Nimmo being patient here, but I do think 2-0 if he can get a strike to hit. Oh, that's inside. It's going to be 3-0 Nimmo. Back to back to back to back. That would be really cool. That would be the way to start a game. That's such a Dodgers thing to do. To start a game with like 4 home runs, that's such a Dodger thing. It'd be really fun to do that against the Dodgers. Here's the 3-0 pitch. I'm assuming Nimmo's taking all the way. He is, and it is low. Ball 4. And there goes Nimmo with his usual hustle down to first base. So we started with a Lindor home run. Now we have a Brandon Nimmo walk. And now, of course, Bomb Soto himself, Juan Soto, is coming up. There are no outs here in the top of the first. Mets are already up 1-0. Ooh, Soto squares around the bunt, pulls the ball back. That's a ball. That's 5 straight balls for Dustin May. Kershaw's the Mets' hardest pitcher of the series. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of similarities between the Dodgers and the Mets, both having to deal with some injuries to starters, like Mookie Betts being out. That's low. 6 straight balls for Dustin May. 2 balls and no strikes to Juan Soto. Um, and the Dodgers pitching staff has been absolutely decimated. Mr. Smiles does do it again. Yes, back-to-back days with home runs for Lindor. Of course, Soto has hit home runs in back-to-back days, going for back-to-back-to-back. Soto rips that one hard. Freeman's able to hold the bag there. This is going to be a double play. So Soto is still struggling with the grounding and the double play, but that was really well hit off the bat. It was just so. All right, so there are going to be 2 outs here. Mets getting revenge early for the Yankees. Absolutely, got to defend New York. It's the one time we're on the same team. First pitch to Pete Alonso is low, 1 ball, no strike. Pete Alonso is on an 8-game hitting streak right now as well. So you guys let me know if you guys like the comments up on the screen. I think it's kind of cool. It allows people to kind of see what's going on, especially I think if the chat got too fast, it wouldn't be the greatest, but it's kind of fun because I can't always feature every single comment down in my little box on the left side. So having that go there on the right, I think that's kind of cool. But you guys got to let me know how it looks from your end as well. We definitely want to keep encouraging more chat, more interaction, make it more fun. Oh, an absolute line drive stabbed by Kim at the shortstop. So 2 hard hit balls that resulted in 3 outs for the Mets. Um, Paul Blackburn is coming out to the mound. Show you a replay of that Pete Alonso line out here real quick for those of you who are not able to watch this live. It is 1-0 Mets though.
Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers in the bottom of the first. 1-0 to
It was well hit, well defended, just kind of one of those the wrong place at the wrong time. Or they had it played just right. Whatever you wish to say for that. All right. So it does cut into I might have to reposition how some of these things go on the screen though. And try leaving that up and on the screen as well. Well, appreciate everybody as you come on in. Please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are on the way to 500 subscribers. Next goal, next stop that we're aiming for is going to be the 300 subscriber mark. We're going to try to do a push to get there here pretty soon. Do some maybe long-term streaming. Crazy stat from Everyday Mets. The Rockies had 4 8-game losing streaks in 2025, and they've never lost more than 8 in a row. Yeah, that is a crazy stat, Everyday Mets. Absolutely a crazy stat. So you definitely don't want to face the Rockies after they've lost 8 in a row because it sounds like it's going to be a guaranteed loss if you do that. Shohei Ohtani leading off. First pitch is ball inside. So the Mets do not have to make. Oh, there's a good pitch, swing and a miss by Ohtani there. Good pitch. D-Rails, how's it going? We're back at it again. Now that we got some West Coast games that I can actually cover because they're not the same time as my son's All-Star practices. So excited to be here. Hope you're doing well, D-Rails. The Mets have been just keep finding ways to win. They're back on top in the National League East going into tonight. Phillies, of course, took the lead for a few days, but gave it up right away. So that is good to see. That's fouled by Ohtani. Let me see. What will Otani do without bats? How's it going, Sharon? Yeah, maybe we'll go like that. You guys let me know what sort of setup you like best on the screen. The only problem I don't like the do here's the 2-2 pitch, and Otani strikes out swinging there. That was a very nice pitch. Lounge Zinger, how's it going? Hope you are doing well, Sharon. Hope you are doing well as well. So excited to be here. Excited to be back with all of you here tonight. Yeah, it's just been tough because all these Mets games are like right at that 7 o'clock time frame, and my son's All Star practices are going like 5:30 to 7:30, and then time to get home. Sometimes we practice extra at the field, and by the time like I'm actually settled in, it's like 9:30, and it's like the game's almost over, and I'm pretty much toast. So this is one of the rare times I'm actually excited for West Coast games because it fits in my schedule really well. So we will be live for at least the first 3 games of the series. The fourth game is a 1 p.m. game, I think. So if it's 1 p.m., I can do that. If it's 4 p.m., I don't think I can do that one. So yes, it has been a while. So we have still been producing content, long form stuff in the background. It's just been hard to find the time for the live stuff. There's a strike on the outside corner as well. So in case you guys missed it, the new power rankings are out. So you can check, find out where the Mets landed in all of that. If I haven't looked that far ahead yet, this has popped up into shallow right field. Juan Soto makes a very low catch that almost fell in there. That was a little more dangerous than I felt like it should have been, but Soto made the catch nonetheless. All right, let me all check. So I'll give you the All Star update because we are finally to All Star games starting this weekend. Um, so practices are like 5:30 to 7:30, and then his first All Star game is Friday night. So I probably won't cover the Friday night game. We will cover Saturday night. So that's probably what it is. I don't know if we'll be able to cover Sunday. We'll cover Saturday night. So we'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday this week. That's what we have for sure. And then beyond that, it'll just depend on how well the All Star team does and how many games he wins. You opened up the game to 111-mile-an-hour double play by Soda. Yes, absolutely. No, I mean it was a well hit ball. I mean, and Pete's ball was well hit too. So I do think the Mets are going to have an opportunity to tee off May tonight. A Yankees fan got attacked at Dodger Stadium, or was it the one that fell from the ceiling? Was that? Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. Like some concrete fell from the ceiling, so they had to block it off. Yeah, that's foul back to Freeman. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So far, Paul Blackburn is looking all right. How are you doing, Wesy? So glad that you could check in here tonight. In enjoy the people who are around you, the people who love you and care about you, Wesy. So you stay strong too, Wesy. All right, here's the 1-2 pitch to Freeman. It's a chopper to third. There's no way Beatty was going to be able to get to that. It's going to be an infield hit. So there's going to be a 2-out base runner. Beatty was playing so far off the line. It was hit so slow. His only chance was to barehand grab and throw. And with a bobble, that wasn't going to be doing that. Well, Wesley, just know whenever you're here, you're not alone. You are not alone when you are here. You're among friends. So Beatty will hit a home run next inning. All right, Everyday Mets is making the call. First pitch to Pajes is a strike on the outside corner. Same thing, Wessie. We will check in the next time we see you. Until we meet again. Have a good night, Wessie. That one's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Absolutely, Lounge. Look, sports are fun. They're fun to debate, fun to talk about, but ultimately, they're one of the best ways to just have human life, live life together, live conversations together. Going to put those Dodgers to sleep. Got some pitch com issues going on here because what would baseball be in 2025 were it not for pitch com issues? Mets all day. Mets in every way. Yes, by the way, if you guys aren't paying attention to the NL Central, the Brewers are definitely starting to heat up a little bit. Be interesting to see if they can give the Cubs a run for their money. What's the thing on my side? Which thing? That box is a Lego set it's one of my daughter's Lego sets. We just listed on eBay. What else do you see? I don't know what else you see on there. That's a tote full of eBay stuff. All those are boxes of sports cards over there that are all listed on eBay, on the eBay store. All right, it's 1-1 pitch to Pajes. We're finally done with that's grounded over to Beatty, and he is able to make the play this time, and the Dodgers are retired. So the Mets get out of the first inning with a 1-0 lead. You cannot ask for anything better than that when you are playing the Dodgers. Of course, no lead ever feels safe against the Dodgers. That's just the way things are. While we're mentioning the eBay stuff, we'll that baseball player looking. Oh. Yeah, they do like all the commercial break stuff. And anyway, for those of you who are interested on the eBay side of things, we have been listing new stuff, getting new inventory up. So there you go. Got football and baseball cards, as well as some other random stuff there too. So you can check that out. I just shipped a bunch of orders out on eBay today. Also listed some new stuff. We had a trade day at our local baseball card shop yesterday, so we went to that. I didn't get too much, but I actually got a Cooper flag. For those of you who know Duke basketball, got a Cooper flag card. So got that listed today as a couple others. You were forced to watch along with a grumpy old guy that yell at you. That's funny. All right, I got some of the juice of Newt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go watch the power rankings. I've got the juice of Newt. So we had, in a short period of time, I got really sick. Like I was super sick for about 2 or 3 days. And then we had the last week of school. And then on top of that, we've had my son's all-star stuff. And it just absolutely has like ruined my live streaming schedule. So I've been able to still get long form videos out, but Hey, the Rockies won tonight. They got their 10th win of the season. Congrats to the Rockies. Thank you, Wessie. So yeah, and as always, ultimately, you know, the thing that would give me the most ability to stream more games is to just keep building an army of patrons. So if you guys want to support this channel, if you like these live streams, because I'm not quite as grumpy as the grumpy old guy on the other channel, you want to support these live streams, then you can absolutely hop on the Patreon. There's different support levels for different levels, and the more patrons we have, the more live content I'll be able to provide for you guys, and hopefully keep upgrading the technology as we go as well. We swept those Rockies. Yes, we did. Yes, my son made the 10U All-Stars. He's a 9-year-old. He made the 10U All-Stars. So it's a pretty big deal. So their first tournament starts Friday. So they have a game Friday, and then they have a game after that, either Monday or Tuesday, depending on if they win or lose. So still don't know. He's still kind of battling for even a starting job, right? So like, you know, he's like one of the top 2-3 players on his team. But then when you take the top 2 or 3 players from every team and put them on the same team, and then there's actually a kid in the league above him who is still 10. So it's good competition for him. There's a swing and a miss by Beatty. By the way, my banners are all off here. Let me get that. Let me get my banner going here. It is 1-0. 1-0 Mets over the Dodgers here in the top of the second inning. Sorry to hear that, Wessie. I can't imagine what that loss feels like. So my condolences to you. I hope you have lots of great memories with him for the time that you had together. Sorry, I had that wrong. It was actually Jared Young who struck out swinging. Beatty grounds out to second. Sorry. Send Beatty my movements to get a home run. No home run for Beatty this inning. Yeah, Wesley, I can tell you've definitely been some rough stuff there, and so definitely praying for you, and we're always here as a support system. So Tyrone Taylor at the plate for the Mets. So some questions. Why is Jared Young playing? So we got what? Let's just start with this, because what is everybody's take on Jared Young? Now, I will say this, and some of you will be maybe kind of surprised, but I don't understand why Acuna is not in the lineup a lot more often. I understand he is a great weapon off the bench. It is really nice to be able to have Acuna to come in late in the game and pinch run him for anyone, and to bring him in for defense when you need it. That being said, Luis Angel Acuna was the National League Rookie of the Month in the month of April. And in the month of May, I mean, he probably didn't get more than 10 starts. So I definitely struggle with Mendoza's decisions on that a little bit. So awesome. You're going to the Father's Day Mets game, Lane. That is super cool. Tommy Edman bobblehead night tonight. Yeah, players do like to go crazy on their bobblehead night. That's for sure. Tyrone Taylor still battling the players. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See, this is the reason I don't like putting the game cast on, because the game cast is like about 10 seconds ahead of my stream. But I guess if you just want to watch it in quiet, then it works. You guys just tell me if you don't mind the spoilers, I can leave it on. All right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, I was frustrated when he did the same thing to Beatty coming off of spring training to sit him right away, beginning of the season after his hot spring and after his hot April. I'm just as confused as to why Acuna doesn't get a few more starts. I feel like bringing Mauricio up maybe would actually help get both of them because then you can have either Mauricio or Acuna available to pinch run, play the other, but we'll see. All right, let's go Mets. Darren, how's it going? KC, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing awesome here tonight. As you come on in the room, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got a new little thing down the bottom right corner where your comments automatically go up on the screen. So hoping to make this a little bit more fun, interactive. All right. So in Lynn Lane, what's the news on Ronnie Mauricio, Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas? Don't have to ask the news on Paul Blackburn anymore because he is pitching tonight. He is back. This is his first show of the season. And then also Jose Siri. All right, so that's a perfect time. We'll go do some injury updates. We're going to look at them one at a time. So let's start with Sean Manaea. Actually, no, let's start with Frankie Montas because I believe he is due back before Manaea, which is funny because originally they were saying Manaea was going to be back first, but let's see. Today, let me go ahead and show this on the screen. We're on commercial break, so you guys are not missing anything as we speak. So that's why we're doing some injury updates here. This is the latest I have on Frankie Montas. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you guys. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you guys can actually read this. Montas struck out 3 batters, allowed 2 earned runs on 2 hits and 2 walks over 3 innings Thursday. So this was 4 days ago. For High Brooklyn in his second rehab start, Montas, who's worked his way back from a high-grade lat strain, tossed 49 pitches, 28 strikes Thursday, is expected to require at least 2 more appearances in the minors before becoming an option for the New York rotation. Now, of course, if you're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, he could be pitching as early as like tomorrow or Wednesday, and then you go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you're maybe talking 2 weeks out for Montas if all goes well. Yeah, he's scheduled to pitch tomorrow at AAA Syracuse tomorrow. Okay, so that's the Frankie Montas, and I believe, pitched 2-run game the other day. There you go, Rels. By the way, Dodgers are up here in the bottom of the second inning. Mets are up 1-0 on a first inning home run by Francisco Lindor. Max, I got the munchies, Muncy. And Muncy walks on 4 pitches there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's look up Sean Manaea next. Looking for the most recent RotoWire. Looks like they updated a bunch of stuff today. So, of course, RotoWire is for fantasy baseball, but injury news is important there as well. Sean Manaea threw 29 pitches in a live bullpen session today. Laura Albanese of Newsday reports the Mets will wait and see how he feels following his latest bullpen to determine whether he's ready to embark on a rehab assignment. He's managed to throw several side sessions over the last few weeks as he continues to make his way back. McNeil to Lindor to Alonso for the double play for your New York Mets. So Max Munchies got on and now he's out. So runner on, runner retired, 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. Mets are up 1-0. All right. So that's the Sean Manaea. Jose Siri will complete all the injury news, and then we'll start looking at Ronnie Mauricio. Here we go. Siri does not appear to be close to returning from the injured list. Tim Britton of The Athletic reports the outfielder still hasn't worked up to 100% in his running progression, and until he does, his return timeline will remain murky. Siri hasn't played since April 12th after fracturing his left tibia, but he did begin taking live batting practice last week. And there's a ground out for the third out for the Dodgers, and we're going to head to the top of the third inning already. You guys are awesome. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. Yes, so it's Lou Gehrig Day today. So we've got that. Who's pitching for the Mets on Father's Day? When is Father's Day? I don't even know when Father's Day is, guys. Is that this Sunday? Or is that? No, it's the 15th. That's too far out to project for the Mets. Too far out. But, I mean, it would certainly be within the range of Montas pitching on Father's Day. That would be within the range of when he could be back for the Mets. Not saying that he will, but it's a little too far out to project. Sometimes you can project 2 starts out, but I don't really like projecting much more than about 1. 3 homers in the first inning against the Red Sox for the Halos today, setting a record at Fenway. I always think it's cool whenever a team sets a record in like a really stadium that's been around forever sort of thing. It's just kind of, I think that's super cool to see that, to have that happen. All right. Let's see. Well, that's the last thing. Ronnie Mauricio. So we're going to go to, let me go look up. So for that, I just like going straight to the Syracuse Mets, looking at some box scores. I know Mauricio has continued to hit. Okay, so I know that. Let's see. So the schedule. Syracuse Mets did not play today. We're going to just go look up a couple of box scores here. Yesterday, Mauricio went 2 for 4 with a walk and an RBI. He is hitting .515. Yeah, he's absolutely destroying the ball. He's hitting .515 with a 1.382 OPS right now. My goodness. Is 515? Yeah, he's hitting .515 at Syracuse. So he is currently, he's gone 17 for 33 with 3 home runs and a double, 27 total bases, 4 stolen bases. There's the first out as Kike Hernandez retires Jeff McNeil by catching a fly ball in the outfield. Is Peterson who's in line for that? Montas pitching poorly. Well, you got to remember, rehab games are all about just getting all your pitches going. Think of a rehab game like the very first spring training game of the year. You're not really looking for the results in the box score so much as you're just looking to make sure all the pitches are working, and it's going to take a while. Like, you just have to remember, it's like for Montas, it's like he's starting over fresh. Like, and Manai will be the same thing, and it's just gonna take a while. So Alvarez is working with it. Francisco Alvarez at the plate, by the way. He is looking to get back on track, and he's trying out a new swing this year, and obviously it's just not working out. Doesn't mean that it won't work out or it can't get there, but it's always a risk when you tinker with something that's been working well. Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez are talking about the idea of floating Alvarez back down to AAA. I definitely think that is a possibility. I don't like doing that with younger guys on a consistent basis, but you have to remember Alvarez is still relatively young. He's only 23 years old. Yeah, Alvarez just looks lost at the plate, and then he looks like he's stressing. So yeah, I know, but for Ronnie Mauricio Lounge, he's doing what he has to do, and my only issue is like we've got to figure out how do we get guys into the outfield and find other positions for them to play. It's hard to know what to do. It's kind of this step. Yeah. Yeah, like Rels, I struggle. Like obviously right now you can tell Alvarez is struggling. I want him to work through it. Um, but at the same time, like there is a benefit to going down maybe for a couple weeks to AAA, and since he's working on a new swing, get your new swing figured out there. Mets are undefeated when Lindor hits a home run. That's a great stat. See, well, like the it's weird. I'm not used to having this problem as a Mets fan. If you've been a long time Mets fan, you understand that this is a weird problem to have multiple guys that you want to have in your lineup and you can't have them in your lineup because you can't fit them all. And ultimately, this logjam will have to rectify itself one way or another, which might involve guys getting traded simply because there's just no room for them. All right. Lindor's going to pop out. That's going to retire the side. We're going to head to the bottom of the third inning. Mets continue to lead 1-0. So, you know, it's it's a difficult situation to be in because nobody wants to send Vientos down. Nobody wants to send you can't send Beatty down now. Nobody wants to send Acuna down. So then what do you have? Like your problem is you need a center fielder, right? Okay. I understand some of you guys like that. Trade them all and sign Bregman. Yeah, exactly. Someone's gonna have to get traded. Like that's just what the solution is. And who do you trade? Like it just depends on who you think is going to be with the club long term. Now, I think, yeah, right. So you're not going to send, yeah, good. That's good to know that Vientos is out of options, Rels. And again, you don't want to send them down, but none of these guys benefit by not getting regular playing time. And the question to me is McNeil and Marte. Right. So do you keep for veteran presence or do you trade to open up roster spots? Right. So I think the Mets are moving into into the portion of the franchise where they need to not be carrying guys who only DH. I think there can be a benefit to the Mets just moving into this world where either you have, unless they have one guy dedicated to DH, the Mets can't be carrying multiple DHs anymore. So, like this idea, right? We had the rough Vogelback, right? The 26 in a row, is that what it is, Sharon? 26 in a row when he's homered. Yep, I know. I don't want to send Acuna down. So the question is, can you get any of these guys? Like, it is a problem, and it's about the best possible problem you can have at Major League Baseball that you have too many guys who are ready to get an everyday dose in the majors. And so, but I mean, this is the question to me is, so for McNeil and Marte, do you keep them for your veteran presence or do you trade them to open up roster spots? Like ultimately, that's the question you have to do is when is it time as a franchise to make the jump from the old guard to the new guard? And it's no disrespect. It is zero disrespect to anybody. Um, yeah, you're like Lane, you're not calling up all those guys at once. There's just no way. There's you just can't do that. And so again, right. Well, so I for sure agree. Like I like Winker. Like I like the attitude Winker brings, but ultimately, like Marte and Winker equals 2 spots. You just can't do that. I mean, you got to remember, we didn't even look at a Winker injury report, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for. But I mean, you can't carry. You just can't do this, and you've got to figure out. Like our problem is center field equals our weakest spot. Okay, and it's not saying anything negative about Tyrone Taylor and what he's done. He's served really well there. So can you train Mauricio to cover center? Are you willing to spend major league time on that? Right. No one wants the contracts. Now, if there's anyone who can eat the contract rels, it is the Mets. But the problem is, like, do you want Mauricio learning center field in the majors, or do you want him to try to learn it down in the minors? But they're not giving him the center field reps down in the minors. It's tough. Nice pitch there. Nice strikeout by Blackburn. There's one out here in the bottom of the third inning. So, I mean, I can't tell you a time that I remember it being this much talent coming forward, and but it feels a whole lot better when you have multiple levels of talent that even if you trade one guy, there's somebody else who can come. To me, yeah, I that's for sure. I think that's probably multiple things. I'm sure Alvarez's head is there's a roller down to first. Alonso tosses it to Blackburn. That's the second out of the inning. I'm sure Alvarez's head is not fully there, and of course, this is also Blackburn's first start this season too. So I'm sure it's multiple things working out the jitters. Shohei Ohtani comes up the way you want to see him come up, with the bases empty. It's 1-0 Mets with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Um, the other question is, are you willing to give up some defense in center field? You know, to do that. I still think McNeil should be our starting center fielder right now. So this is what I would like to see. I'd like to see Acuna. Most of you guys know this, but this is my ideal starting rotation. So left would be Nimmo, center, McNeil, right, Soto. Okay. Third base, Beatty. Shortstop, Lindor. Second base, Acuna. First base, Pete. DH, Vientos. This is what I would be putting out if I were the manager of the Mets, which I am not. I'm just a random guy you started listening to on the internet. But if I were the manager for the Mets, this is what I would want to be running with right now. And then I would have, Tyrone Taylor, bench for defense and speed. Marte, because you're stuck with him. This is going with the current. Obviously, I would like to have Mauricio in center field, but I'm going with the current roster construction. And then you've got, again, going with the current roster construction, you've got Alvarez and Torrens as catcher. Otani chases the pitch, and he has struck out. I believe it's the second strikeout for Otani tonight. And then Jared Young. Yeah, I just don't see. Jared Young feels like a placeholder. He's like a placeholder for Mauricio. I know Blackburn looks good tonight. Right? So this is. Yeah, Darren, I think he tries too hard. I think Alvarez is trying too hard to be a 30 home run hitter instead of just trying to be a doubles hitter who occasionally hits a home run. That's what I would like. I'd like Alvarez to be a doubles hitter instead of a home run hitter. And I think if he went and he focused on being a doubles hitter, solid hard contact, that would be the way. Hey, Midnight, how's it going? No worries. We're finally back at it for some live streams this week too. So life's been crazy. Yeah, I haven't given up on Alvarez. I do think there's been some regression there. Large as well to you, Midnight. Redman, it is good to see Blackburn. I'm actually highly impressed with Blackburn so far. I mean, this Dodgers lineup lacks a lot when Mookie Betts is not in there. I mean, it's still dangerous. Don't get me wrong. It's still one of the best lineups in baseball, but without Mookie Betts, it just changes a lot. Yeah, so this is a JD Martinez. So Francisco, hold on. Well, I'll see if I can find it. So Francisco Alvarez changed his swing based off of something JD Martinez was teaching him. I'm not gonna. Here's an article if you want to read the whole thing. This is back from February, right? So I think that's the problem. Is sometimes you get convinced you need to fix your swing, even when you actually don't. So this article is from February. Alvarez pretty much spent his whole offseason in Atlanta instead of Venezuela. I had to fix my swing, Alvarez said. So if you want to read more about it, that's a whole article. But basically, he went to a pitching lab to try to make his swing more like JD Martinez, and obviously it has not worked so far. So, yeah, I mean, he looked good in the spring, and I just don't know if he lost all momentum. I don't know if they rushed him back. I don't. It'd be interesting to check what his stats were in the minors. Let me look that up really quick. By the way, it is top of the fourth, 1 ball, 2 strikes, Nimmo. That's fouled off down the line. By the way, as well, thank you everybody for hanging out. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. We're trying to get there by the All-Star game, but that's coming up really close. So we're gonna keep trying to pump out the content for you guys. Oh, that's a beautiful pitch by May. Got Nimmo looking. He knew it. That was a beautiful pitch. That's an unhittable pitch. Good pitch by Dustin May there. Do I think they use juice ball? I didn't watch the actual series Everyday Mets. So I don't know. I don't think you need to use juice balls for those two teams, though. My acceptance rate on DoorDash is like right around 9, I think, tonight. Soto squares to bunt again. It's the second at bat tonight that he's done that. Um, yeah, my acceptance rate on DoorDash is right around 9%. We're on the new system, so I'm just trying to get my on time rating to 100%. I'm at like 97% or something like that. Maybe it's 95 now. It was raining tonight when I was delivering, so every order I delivered tonight was late, so that kind of killed that. I agree, Redman. But that was what he was trying to do, was to move from being a home run hitter to being a more use every field spray hitter. But obviously, it's just not working, and that's why, in his particular case, oh, it's a fair ball, ground rule double, accidental. I didn't think that was that's a. I didn't think that was going to be fair. It looked like it was going foul. This is a ground rule double for Juan Soto. Yeah, they're going to show. I'll try to show you guys the replay. I thought for sure it was just going to be a foul ball off the bat. I don't know how good this replay is that they're going to show here, but I'll show it to you. This is
Line.
yeah.
12th double of the year for Soto.
Here's the swing for Soto here.
He's just a little late on that one. It was just right there. That's why he hit it down the other opposite field.
All right. Can't show too much. Won't get shut down by YouTube, but I can show you stuff after it's happened and add my commentary to it. Pete Alonso is hit by a pitch now, so now Mets have runners on first and second. Thank you, Redman. It's good to be back. We'll be able to cover the late night live games for now, and then once All-Star season is done for my son, however long that lasts, it could be done by this time next week, or it could go on for months. We don't know. So the reason I'm okay with Alvarez going down to the minors is because he's actually working on trying to fix his swing. That actually makes sense for him to try to perfect his new swing against slightly easier pitching. It's not like AAA is easy. It's just not quite as hard as Major League pitching. And since he had a spring and then he got hurt and he missed a bunch of time and then he's back and his swing has just not been able to settle down, I would almost just think of it like an extended spring training for Alvarez and just say, safe. He's going to beat out the double play. So Jared Young hustles down the line to beat out the throwback. Are they going to challenge this? So he grounded to second. Pete is out at second. That's good hustle down the line by Jared Young to keep the inning alive. Oh, yeah, he definitely beat it out. Brett Beatty's going to come to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Mets up 1-0. So you guys let me know. Like, what would you guys do with the lineup? I mean, it's hard. These are hard decisions, and you got to remember you're dealing with real people who are going to have real reactions to anything you do or don't do. Like, if you asked me as a non-baseball player, I would rather be a sub in the majors than a starter in AAA, right? That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Brett Beatty. And I think that's an interesting thing that we don't really talk about. We're always talking about player development, and you need at-bats to develop, and you don't want people just rotting away on the bench. And that is true. But there's also just the human side of things, which is, dude, just let me. That's outside again. 3-0 to Beatty. A nice patient at bat by Beatty here. Beatty's hitless in his last 8, so like a mini slump after he just hit the ball really well. See if he can figure out how to pull out of the slump quickly. couple games in a row without a hit, not a big deal when other players are hitting, but you still don't want to fall into a long pattern. He's going to take the 3-0 pitch. It's down the middle. 3 balls, 1 strike. You know, these guys have worked their whole lives to get to the majors. And I would guess if you could interview Luis Angel Acuna and you asked him, would you rather be a starter in AAA or would you rather be a sub in the majors? He would choose sub in the majors every day of the week. And I bet you almost all these players would prefer to do that. And how do I know that? Well, it's the amount of players who choose to stay in the majors but go with a less than good team rather than be in the minors for a better team, right? Would you rather be in AAA for the Dodgers organization or a starter with the Rockies? I think every single person would choose the starter for the Rockies. Beatty goes down swinging on that one. That's going to retire this side. It is going to be 1-0 Mets as we go to the bottom of the fourth. That was ball 4, so it's not a good pitch selection by Beatty that time. Dustin May is hyped up. So Mets threaten but fail to score. Of course, if you're a Mets fan, you're perfectly familiar with that. Yeah, so Soto finally gets a break. Alvarez needs to stay healthy for sure. Redman, if you're asking like an average Major League Baseball player, right? You just ask anybody, would you rather be a AAA in a great organization or would you rather be a starter for a horrible organization? Being in the show is what matters most to these guys. Derails. Drinking some juice of Newt. Juice of Newt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then make sure you go check out the most recent power rankings. The Scroll of Wisdom. Let me go ahead and put up a link for that really quick. Again, if you guys need something else to do, June 2 power rankings. As always, we do 3 honorable mentions followed by the top 10. So there you can go check it out and learn about the juice of Newt. That's in there. My eye looks red. You see my eye red? Thought I was laughing. It could be. I mean, I got contacts in. It's getting late. So, all right, Tasker Hernandez is going to lead things off here for the Dodgers in the bottom of the fourth. So there is some really good action on Blackburn's pitches here tonight for sure. There's that pitch. He missed it on the first one. He got the called strike there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Oscar Hernandez. Blackburn is 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, no runs allowed yet. Oh, got him swing on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, I did record that pretty late last night, Redman. I recorded that late, and then I had another video to edit for my other channel I was up doing video editing till 5 a.m. this morning. So it was a long night last night. We'll just put it that way. So hopefully the Mets can win this game in like 2 hours so I can go to bed early tonight because I'm tired. That's fly ball short center field. Taylor's not going to be able to make the catch. It's going to fall in there. MLB blockbuster trade. Mets will be involved. D-Rails, you got Tigers, Mets, Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers. I still have I'm similar. Yeah, Paul Blackburn is pitching really well tonight, even though that one falls in. I still have the Yankees ahead of the Mets. The Yankees beat the Mets head to head. I laid out a case for why a bunch of different teams could be the number 2 ranked team in baseball. I think there's good arguments to be made by all. It's a pulled down to first, a grounder. Alonso makes a diving stop and tags the bag, gets the out. The runner's going to go to second on that. So there's going to be one out with a runner on second. Kind of a Pete had no chance to get the runner at second anyway. So might as well just take the sure out at first. All right, one out. Runner on second. First pitch is a strike. You got Yankees sixth. Yeah. Yeah, they got embarrassed. But listen, the Dodgers got swept by the Angels like 2 weekends ago. That's more embarrassing than anything else. I mean, the Dodgers got embarrassed by a team earlier this season. The Mets have had embarrassing games. I try not to look at too many games in a vacuum, just simply because any given day, anything can happen. Baseball's weird like that, much more so than other sports. So, I mean, it's a fair argument. Like, normally I say if one team beats the other team, and I have them closely ranked, that I'll put the one over the other. But the Dodgers beat the Yankees in their series. The Yankees beat the Mets in their series. The Mets beat the Dodgers in their series. So, no, that's true. But what were the Dodgers? Dodgers got embarrassed big. Dodgers had a big loss, right, earlier this season. Let's do the Cubs, right? Yeah. The Dodgers lost 16-0 to the Cubs earlier this season. So, to me, those are fun things. They're like fun if you don't like the team. Pages out to center. Tyrone Taylor makes the catch. It's going to be 2 outs. I mean, that's the worst shutout loss. Worst shutout loss in Dodgers history happened this season with a really good team. So I try not to put too much stock in any one individual game. Yeah, I heard this trivia question tonight. There are 2 teams who have not been swept in a series this season. Name the 2 teams. There are only 2 teams that have not been swept in a series yet this season. So there's your yeah, it's true. The Dodgers also have a lot of wins against the Cubs as well. You are correct, Rels. Mets and Reds. You must have heard that stat. I think that was on the pregame tonight. This is high out to center field. Taylor makes the catch out on the warning track, and the Dodgers are going to be retired. There's certainly issue. I think getting swept by the Brewers. I think the Phillies getting swept by the Brewers was actually way worse than the Yankees losing 2-3 to the Dodgers. So I'm not saying I don't think the Phillies will be a threat for the NL East. I certainly think they will. I just think the overall, when you look at the relative series this weekend, when you look at the teams the Phillies beat, they were beating up. Their winning streak was against a bunch of good teams. Also, look at the teams the Cubs have played the last 3 weeks. The Cubs have had probably the easiest schedule in baseball the last 3 weeks. The last time the Cubs faced a team with a winning record, it was the Mets, and they lost the series to the Mets. So when I dove into the stats, I came to the conclusion that the Cubs are only doing well because of the teams they're playing right now. And we're going to see shortly who the Cubs play. That's going to test them a little bit because I think they have the Tigers coming up. That'll be a good test. I would not be surprised if they can hang with the Tigers. I would also not be surprised if the Tigers sweep the Cubs. I'm not convinced that the Cubs are consistently – I think they're a team that's going to beat up on bad teams. I'm not convinced that they are one of the top 2 or 3 teams in baseball right now. I think you could make an argument that they are. I'm just not personally convinced by that argument. So, and I also think the same thing is true with the Phillies. The Phillies winning streak came against a bunch of easy teams. So, we shall see. Great thing about baseball is it all will play out right in front of our faces. Are there Jaron Duran to the Mets trade rumors? Does he play center field? I'm reading now about the Jaron Duran trade rumors. For those of you guys who are interested, here's an article. Sorry, that's a really long link. That's a really long link. Tyrone Taylor pops out for the first out of the inning, top of the 5th here. The Squirrel, Jeff McNeil, at the plate. Yeah, I mean, the Mets need a center fielder. That's a nice rip out to right field for a 1-out single for Jeff McNeil. I just want to see how Kyle Stowers is doing. If he's still hitting well, he's been the one. Yeah, Stowers is definitely coming down off of his high a little bit here. He only hit 250 for the month of May. He hit 321 in April and only hit 250 in the month of May. So his season batting average is down 279. I like Duran over, yeah. I mean, that article was saying maybe the Padres, but the Mets need a center fielder. I think Mets fans, we've convinced ourselves that good enough is good enough, and you just you can't get to the point. Like, you can celebrate with a team. Hey, there's a base hit for Francisco Alvarez. He needed that. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. That's going to be 2 on with 1 out. Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes too, guys. You got to remember, sometimes all it takes is just like a little bloop. Yeah, that was not a good pitch to swing at. It was not a good swing, but every once in a while, you just take what you get. No, I like Jaron Duran. I actually, this is one of his cards today. So you, the New York Mets, if they want to be seen as a premier franchise, are going to be looking to constantly develop. And I do think that there's just enough veteran leadership on this ball club now that I just don't think you have to have the Winker, the Marte type of players quite as much. I just don't think they're, certainly not both of them. You know, at this point in time, Alonso is a veteran. Lindor is a veteran. Soto is a veteran. Even though some of these guys are still younger, they're true vets that can command a clubhouse and have the respect of the entire team. This flies out deep left field. Conforto makes the catch going against the wall. McNeil gets back. The umpire gets bonked on his head. Check this out. Ump looks okay, but on the throw in,
And the runners hustle back.
the ump gets hit on the head. You guys see that? That's crazy. It bounced right back to Kim. So Kim missed the ball off the umpire's face. Went right back to Kim. Ump is smiling, so he looks to be okay. Of course, never want to see anybody get injured. All right, Nimmo is up. He gave that a ride. Lindor hit that well. Just needed about 5 more feet to get that out of the ballpark. 3 or 4 more feet to get it off the wall, maybe. First pitch is outside to Nimmo. That's ripped. That's going to get down. That's going to score 1. Yeah, they were going to score 2. It's going to be a ground rule double. Alvarez was going to score on it, but it's going to be 2-0 Mets. It should have been 3-0. So Dustin May gets bailed out for now. Yeah, this Nimmo in the 2-hole, I was not a fan of kind of messing up those top 3, but it seems like maybe this is just the right lineup configuration. Wow. So Juan Soto just got walked to load the bases, and Pete Alonso's coming to the plate. That is crazy. You would not have seen this like a month and a half ago, walking the bases loaded to get to Alonso. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So there are 2 outs here. So Pete needs to get a hit, a walk or a hit, but he's looking to get a hit. Pete's actually hitting well with runners in scoring position. One of the few Mets that would have good stats here. He's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position, including 5 home runs. Yeah, it does. Oh, Everyday Mets is going for the grand salami here. We're gonna bring out our polar bear. We're gonna bring out the polar bear. It's polar bear Pete time. First pitch is low. One ball and no strikes. We've got the polar bear. We've got the polar bear. That's going to be flied out to right field. I just jinxed Pete Alonso with the polar bear. It is 2-0 Mets, though. The jinx, the polar bear jinx. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Jaron Duran leads the majors in triples. He has 6 triples this season. Yeah, Jaron Duran would fit really well on this Mets team. And the Red Sox have a logjam in the outfield because they have Roman Anthony and Wilyer Abreu and Cedane Rafaela, right? So they maybe have the opposite problem of the Mets. And so when you have this, maybe there's a match here somewhere. I don't know what the Red Sox other needs are. If we had Savage Batman on, maybe he could tell us. The Mets have both starting pitchers to spare as well as infielders. Just trying to see what I can find out here. Well, I mean, the question is how is Parada developing in the minors? Too, is there a world where you could package, say, Alvarez plus somebody for a Jaron Duran? With that, first baseman, second base are kind of set, third base are kind of set. Short. How's Christian Campbell doing this season? Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox could use a second baseman for sure. Carlos Narvaez is really good. Looks like Christian Campbell. He's a younger kid, though. But Red Sox could probably use either a second baseman or a utility guy. Do they need pitchers? Do they need starting pitching? Yeah, they maybe could use a starting pitcher. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Michael Conforto. Yeah, they did. Mets did get if that had stayed in the park, that's the second ground rule double. Make the fences bigger, Los Angeles. Just make them taller. Is Meyer okay? I'm just looking at a depth chart. I don't know how they actually lay it out. They showed Meyer as the primary third baseman. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. How's it going? Hope you're doing well tonight. Yeah, the Mets will get some bullpen help. If there's one thing that I know David Stearns is going to do, he's going to find random relievers that we've never heard about, and it's going to add them to the team. One out. Tommy Edman is up. It is Tommy Edman bobblehead night, someone said before. So, do you fear the bobblehead breakout? There's a little grounder to first. Oh, Pete bobbles it, and he's going to be safe. It's a bobblehead bobble. That's an error on Pete Alonso. That's a play Pete makes all the time. Just yeah, if Edmund hadn't hustled down the line, he would have been out. I mean, Pete recovered well, but it was just too late. So that's an error. There's going to be a runner on first here with one out. Rushing flies out to center. Taylor makes the catch. Edmund's going to go back to first. The Mets have another weekend series coming up against the Rockies in Colorado. Lindor's was a home run in Wrigley. Yeah. First pitch to Hae-Sung Kim is a strike. No balls and one strike. Bottom of the fifth, Paul Blackburn is pitching really well. He's at 68 pitches. I'm going to assume his pitch count's going to be probably like upper 70s to low 80s today. They don't want to push him too far where what is a good inning could turn into a bad outing. You know, it's been really well. I agree. Woohoo! That was a good throw by Alvarez down to first. He got back, but barely. Good throw by Alvarez. Man, that snap throw when it works back to first base, it's one of my favorite plays in all of baseball. That's fouled back. One ball, two strikes to Kim. Yeah, I mean, and the Mets kind of need to do that. I think the Mets need to split this series. All you need to do is win two. More than two would be great. Winning the first game of the series would be really good. But did he go? No, did not go on that. Two balls, two strikes. But yeah, you got to win two or three in Colorado for sure. The Rockies are bad, but they're probably not as bad as their record shows. And at a certain point, they're going to just break out of it because some of the guys are just going to get it figured out. That is a single, base hit out into left field. So the inning continues. The Dodgers trying to capitalize on the Pete Alonso error. Yeah, the Mets got to make up, separate, and then they're going to have a road trip to Atlanta and Philadelphia. And now you got what you don't want. And this is one thing the Mets have been able to avoid overall, which is facing Ohtani with runners on. Blackburn struck out Ohtani twice, but you know Ohtani smells blood in the water when he comes up in a situation like this. Ohtani too busy napping. As a team, the Dodgers are hitting 320 with runners in scoring position, a stat the Mets fans wish were true about the Mets. Jose Castillo is starting to warm up in the Mets bullpen. There's a meeting of the minds at the mound. That's what's going on. That's what's holding us up for the moment. It's 2-0 Mets. Bottom of the fifth. There's two outs. Otani's up with two on. Runners on first and second. Tommy Edman is the lead runner. With two outs, runners can go on contact. Otani did not swing at the first pitch. Oh, was there Otani napped during the Yankees series? Well, if it was during game two, that's maybe understandable. Big swing and a miss by Otani there. One ball, one strike. That pitch is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ooh, that's a nice pitch, but they called it low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Otani grounds it to McNeil. McNeil throws it over to Pete, and the side is retired. Paul Blackburn doing what every other Mets pitcher has done, dancing through the raindrops, tiptoeing through those tulips. We're going to go to the 6th inning. Mets continue to lead 2-0. Again, like I said before, it's not that this lineup is bad by any means. It is a fearsome lineup. However, it is definitely one level, one notch down when Mookie Betts is not in this lineup. It definitely makes a big difference. So wins are wins, and a win against the Dodgers with or without Mookie Betts in the lineup is still good. So here's the question with that everyday Mets is obviously he's going to try to maximize his money. How many years does he have left? There's a club option for 2028. Can he opt out? I don't know, man. He's how old is he? He's 31. So he's due to get like between 18 to 20 million a year. I feel like there's a chance that maybe the Mets could just work out an extension instead of the opt out. Oh, sorry. 15-15. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're assuming that Edwin keeps pitching at the level he's pitching at. I would hope this is Edwin Diaz contract information for anybody who cares on that. Paul Blackburn looks like he's going to be done for the day. I mean, just fits right into this rotation. Brosban warming up. Yeah. Great, great job by Paul Blackburn tonight. I mean, thoroughly impressed. I said anything under 5 runs is great. How about 5 innings and no runs? Jared Young is up for the Mets right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dustin May still pitching for the Dodgers. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Appreciate everybody being here with us tonight. Make sure you please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. We're trying to get there by the All-Star break. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Jared Young. Let's see if he gets a good pitch to hit here on 3-1. He does. He missed it, though. Fouls it off. All right, here's the 3-2 pitch to Jared Young. Not a foul tip, strikes out. Doesn't run down to first. So that's going to be an out. First out of the inning. Brett the Threat Beatty is coming up. I think he's 0 for his last 10 now. So Brett could really use a hit, get on base somehow here. It's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Brett Beatty. It's foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Beatty. That's also fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, here's the 1-2 pitch to Brett Beatty here. Brett fouls that one away. Yeah, Brazaban's been just such a nice weapon to have out of the bullpen. That's fouled back by Beatty. Beatty battling here, fouling some pitches, trying to get Dustin May out of this game, get in the bullpen. May's only at 82 pitches here in the 6th inning. So it'd be really nice if we could get a couple of base runners. Mets have had some threats, but nothing crazy. There's a liner right up the middle. Hard hit ball. Pitcher's ducking off the glove. I don't know what happened if Kim didn't see it well, because it's going to be called a hit. Yeah, it's misplayed. Yeah, it's got to be an error, I think. They're going to score a hit for now. We'll see. I'll show you guys the replay. Here's the replay of this Beatty hit. Yeah, I agree, Rels. I think that's an error. It's still a very hard hit ball, which is why they always say it's always better to put the ball in the play than to strike out.
They are going to score a hit.
You guys can be the judge on
Duck.
this.
So
you can tell. I'll tell you
mean,
one thing that
come
you
on,
can
get in front of
see.
it.
They gave him a hit, but I don't know.
Oh, that's give him the red cape. Duck.
If you watch Kim, he's the shortstop. He's playing it. He's positioned right, but you see how he did that like double take? I think he didn't see the ball off the bat, and so you could, for that, say that
He
all
doesn't
of a
get in
sudden
front.
he got his feet got messed up with that. So I can see an argument for it to be a hit. We'll see. They can always change the scoring later. Either way, it was a well-struck ball. So Beatty breaks his hitless streak. Alvarez got a hit tonight too. And Soto had the ground rule double. Lindor had the home run. So it's just good to see a little more consistency in this lineup from top to bottom. Yeah, I like seeing the ball being hit hard. That's for sure. Even though I disagree with some of the lineup construction here. All right, and Tyrone Taylor is going to line out to Max Muncy. It's going to bring Jeff McNeil to the plate. McNeil is going to lift that one out to center field, and that's going to be a lazy fly ball. Dustin May's arm's getting tired, yeah, but he got through that inning, so Mets couldn't quite do what they needed to do to try to get him out of the game there. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning here. I'm assuming it's Brazaban. We know Blackburn is done for the game. The final line on Paul Blackburn today, by the way, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Obviously, he has a 0.00 ERA. He is in line for the win if the Mets can hold the lead and not give up the lead between now and the end of the game. He is in line to be the winning pitcher. His total pitch count was 77. 77 pitches, 49 of them strikes. So, for a lineup that is one of the best in baseball, he looked under control and no panic when he got into a little bit of trouble facing Ohtani with 2 runners on. It far exceeded my hopes, dreams, and expectations for this pitching performance. So, we got a lot of tabs open over on this one. Let's close some tabs. There. Oh, I got a game I need to check out. Hold on. Nothing. Yeah. Padres and Giants. I feel like the Padres and Giants are like, I feel like the Padres are just a notch better than the Giants, but they're like just about the same team. I'm looking at the batting averages of the Giants players. Elliot Ramos is hitting 296. Jung-Hoo Lee is hitting 278. Wilmer Flores looks like he's cooled off a little bit. He's down to 250. Yastrzemski's hitting 237. Willie Adames is hitting 206. Wade is hitting 167. Their catcher Bailey's hitting only 182 this season. Fitzgerald's hitting 266. The Giants need some offense. Giants need some guys who can get on base. Meanwhile, the Padres have Tatis hitting 261, Arias hitting 290, Machado's hitting over 300, Jackson Merrill's hitting over 300, Xander Bogaerts 244, Cronenworth 243, Jose Iglesias is hitting 248 on the season. That is a good game. Who's pitching there? Well, Kolek started for the Padres, and Logan Webb is still pitching for the Giants. Kike Hernandez is up. Of course, Shohei was the last out of the 5th inning. Mets have a 2-0 lead. It is Huascar Brazaban. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kike Hernandez barely fouls that one off. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 by Brazaban. Brazaban, I know with relievers, ERA means a little bit less, but I mean, it's just pitching phenomenally this year. Such a nice weapon to have in the bullpen. Freddie Freeman is at the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the 7th inning. We're going to find a smaller creator if we can. Rate them, go share some love. Thank you guys for staying up late. It's just about midnight on the East Coast. 2 balls, no strikes to Freddie Freeman. That's a good pitch. Fouled away by Freeman. So Dave Roberts said that bets might be available to pinch hit tonight even. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Freddie Freeman and ground it through the hole just past McNeil. I feel like that's a ball that Acuna gets to. You maybe still don't throw out Freeman there. I do think that that's a ball that Acuna gets to. All right, no balls, one strike to Andy Pajes for the Dodgers here. There's a runner on first, Freddie Freeman. Mets are just up 2-0, so it feels like they've had chances to put a few more runs on the board. Have not yet done that, which means just a home run away from tying the game. One ball, two strikes to Pajes here. Bottom of the sixth inning, one out. Freddie Freeman on first. Huascar Brazaban pitching for the Mets. That's fouled away by Pajes once again. Two balls, two strikes to Pajes. Let me know how you guys are doing tonight. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully, the Mets can continue to lead in this game and actually get the win, win the first game of the series. That is fouled off of his foot. That's hit back to the warning track. Tyrone Taylor. And that is a long, long fly out. Two outs in the bottom of the sixth inning. Casey, we'll give you the full breakdown. Yeah, two outs, bottom of the sixth inning. Runner on first. That is Freddie Freeman. Max Munchies. Max Muncy with the Munchies at the plate. First pitch is a ball. One ball, no strikes. Mets are up 2-0. Huascar Brazaban is pitching. Let's go. Let's go. 2-0 pitch. That's outside. 3-0 is the count. Snap throw down to first. Freeman gets back. Excuse me. One. All right, that's ball 4 to Max got the munchies. So runners on first and second. They're going to have a meeting of the minds at the mound. Former Met legend Michael Conforto coming to the plate for the Dodgers now as we speak. Throw some scores. We haven't done a score check. Tigers are the first team in baseball to 40 wins on the season. They beat the White Sox 13-1 today. Brewers continue with their hot streak. I believe they've won now 8 in a row. The 3-2 win over the Reds. Trevor McGill, Tyler's brother, got the save, his 12th of the season. Angels went into Boston, beat the Red Sox 7-6. The Angels just keep hanging around, and the Red Sox keep not being able to really turn the corner here. Twins currently, so one of their final. The Rockies got their 10th win of the season. They are now 10-50, the 6-4 win over the Marlins. That was after being behind 4-1. They were able to come back, actually chip away and get the win. Twins are up on the Athletics 8-4. That's in the 6th. Of course, the Mets are up 2-0 here in the 6th. And Padres and Giants still knotted at 0, top of the 8th inning. That's another ball to Conforto. 2 balls and no strikes. It's six balls in a row by Brazaban here. And it's going from a pretty easy appearance. And there's another ball. There are 2 outs. 3-0 pitch is a strike down at the bottom of the zone. 3-1. He was taking all the way, obviously, as you would, after 7 straight balls. We're going to bring out the anti-rally pit here in a second. Fouled away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. All right, so Brazaban needs to find one more strike. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's a ball in the dirt. He walked him. What are you doing, Brazaban? Jose Castillo is going to warm up again for the Mets. He had already warmed up some. He's warming up again. It is Tommy Edman bobblehead night. You just can't take your foot off the gas against this team. I'm going to guess. I don't know, Rel. I'm going to guess he was on some sort of pitch count. First pitch is a ball in the dirt. Yeah, this is, it's probably either way. I would have liked to have seen. There's a big swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'd like to see Brazaban actually get ahead because I think his low pitches will work well, but not if he's pitching with the batter ahead in the count. That's fouled away. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, so Brazaban has worked hard this inning. He's up to 31 pitches. 31 pitches so far. It's still 2-0 Mets. It is super dicey, but Brazaban has a way out. Struck him out. Oh. Well, there goes the bobblehead narrative. That is huge. Look, that wasn't a great inning by Brazaban, but sometimes you're not going to have a great inning. You have to figure the way out. And that's what Brazaban did. So kudos to him. I don't know if that's worthy of the rock solid relief performance of the day. I think we're going to have to wait and see on that. It might be. Is it time for Rally Pig? All right. I almost brought out anti-Rally Pig that inning, but we will bring out Sir Rally Pig here. In fact, I'm going to use this chance to just go get a quick little snack. We'll do the top of this inning, and then we're going to go raid some smaller creators in just a second. So everybody throw those Rally Pig emojis, those pig emojis in the chat. I'll be right back with you. All right. We are back at it. Francisco Alvarez is going to lead things off. My buddy's still calling Diamondbacks games. First pitch to Alvarez is a strike. No balls. One strike. We got Rally Pig out. We got the pigs, the snouts in the chat. We got the juice of Newt. Magic elixir, something along those lines. No balls, two strikes to Alvarez. Alvarez got a min panic. Max Kranick is warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. Alvarez got to hit his last at bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to him here. It's only 9 o'clock out there in Los Angeles. Sounds great. I would love it to only be 9 o'clock here. Unfortunately, it is after midnight. So those of you who made it from the East Coast, happy Tuesday to you. So much for faster games. I feel like the Mets have to have like the slowest games. Like this game is 3 hours old and we're in the 7th inning. Alvarez swings and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. And that's going to retire him. So he's got his hit last at bat, but that at bat was kind of back the same way he's been struggling. So he's got to figure this out. He's got to figure out this swing. Is it 2 hours long? Oh, I guess it is only 2 hours long. I can't math. I'm just tired. I was thinking, I don't know. It does feel like a lot of the Mets games have dragged on this year. Lindor pops this one up way high. It's going to be caught foul. by Freddie Freeman down the first baseline. And so that is 2 quick outs here. By the way, Dreyer is in for the Dodgers. I can't math. It's more once you get past 10, it's beyond my fingers and toes. I can't count anymore. Yeah, beyond my fingers, not my toes. I do. Like I said, I was up till 5 a.m. So I'm running on fumes right now, but it's all good. All right. Brandon Nimmo at the plate. 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Mets are up 2-0. Dreyer's pitching for the Dodgers. Mets could really use a base runner, give a little bit of a longer inning here. Especially considering the Dodgers just had like a 35 pitch inning against the Mets. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's outside. Good take by Nimmo there. That was a tough take. Here's 3-1 pitch to Nimmo. He gives it a rip, but it's going to be fielded by Freeman. He's going to take it to the bag himself. That was a quick inning. That was too quick of an inning. Too quick of an inning, if I do say so myself. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. What that means is in the 7th inning, with whatever team the Mets are not playing, we like to go and raid some smaller creators. We usually have no trouble finding Dodgers creators. It's been a while though since we've searched, and so I like to go way down low, especially when it's like a team like the Dodgers. Find someone where there's only 5 or 10 people watching. We're gonna hang out, so I invite you to join me. Yeah, Rally Pick stinks. Even with the layoff, Rally Pig is not any better, not come back any stronger. Let's see. All right. I think I got somebody here. Let's see if they have chat on. Oh, this is perfect. This guy's got like 134 subscribers. Putting the grind in. It's got a cool little setup. I like it. So we're gonna he's only got a couple people in the chat. I don't think he has any comments yet. So let's blow up his comments and Dodgers guy out there putting the work in. Maybe he's multi-streaming. It's possible he's multi-streaming because he's talking to somebody. But that's okay. We're still going to do it. We'll give him some help on this channel. So you can go in, like, subscribe, be polite, calm, courteous. This isn't about team fandom. This is just about just sharing the love with smaller creators who are putting the work in. Oh, yeah, give us a shout out right away. There you go. Sending love. You guys are awesome. I love it. I think he's multi-streaming, but that's okay. It's still cool. Help him feed the YouTube algorithm. It's hard. It's hard to get through, like, when you're the smaller streamer. I love it. Called strike 3. I like this guy. This Dodgers guy is giving a good overview. Good welcome. Definitely throw him a like if you're a Dodgers fan. Give him a sub for sure. You like his vibe? Absolutely. It's a little delayed. I want to hear a strikeout call. Min Panic, Max Kranick, Hi Song Kim. So thank you, KC, Everyday Mets. Thanks for participating. All right. I'm gonna leave that message there. We're gonna do that. So there's our raid for the night. Thank you guys for participating with us, sharing the love with the smaller creators, putting that grind in. There's a pitch down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hai Sung Kim. Appreciate you guys so much. All right, 2-1 pitch. Kranick is working very efficiently here. Attacking. Oh, they're showing the concrete that they had to have netted off. You guys didn't see this. There's like some concrete slabs that were falling from Dodger Stadium. That's what they had to do. It's like falling rock, but it's just concrete from the stadium. All right, here is the 2-2 pitch to Kim. Gives it a drive. Falling fast. Tyrone Taylor gets there, though. Good job. He ran that down, staying on his feet, but just because he got such a good break on it. It was a really good play there. Yeah, I was noticing Kim kind of almost has a similar swing. He's got kind of an Ohtani-esque swing. He looks like he could be a really good hitter in a year or two. I agree with you, Darren. Ohtani is now up with nobody on and 2 outs. The best possible scenario. Ohtani just hit it to the moon, though. Wow. And it's 2-1 Dodgers. But again, that is why you want to face Ohtani with nobody on. So it is 2-1 Mets. Again, fortunately, they got Kim on the last one. I mean, it's just been such a. It's not the same. Anyone who was around for the McGuire versus Sosa and then the Bonds and the home run chase, it's not the same. But there is something about just Ohtani and Judge and what they bring to this game of baseball right now. I'll show you guys the replay of this home run. I mean, it's an absolute hanging pitch. It's a horrible pitch as a pitcher for Kranick here. All right, here it is. This is the replay of the home run.
It's a hanger, and it's down, and that's where he likes it.
I mean, just I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it on the screen. I'll try to show it with my mouse. It comes down out here beyond the bullpen. Like it landed way out there. If you guys could see where my mouse was with that.
Well, he's got the.
I mean, it's just an absolute no doubter. It's just, it is phenomenal to me how easy he makes that look. All right, well, Kike Hernandez is up It's 2 balls, no strikes. Swings that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. So it's 2-1. So the good news is Section 205 in Yankee Stadium. In Yankee Stadium, that might be out of the stadium. He hit that so far. That's fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez. No, I got to go check that out. Let me go see if I can find that. By the way, that Padres Giants game is still 0-0, top of the ninth. I hope Trout can just stay healthy for the rest of the season. All right, here's I'm gonna try to bring up the Mike Trout home run here really quick. And Kike Hernandez strikes out. That's going to retire the side. Hopefully, you guys can see that.
First and second, 2 runs.
This is the Trout home run from earlier today.
Sends a drive out to left center field. Yeah, baby! Get that one up.
Yeah, that's way up there over the monster.
Trout's 10th of the year.
And by the way, Mike Trout, he's back. That ball was smashed a long, long way. 112 off the bat.
5-0 Angels. Still nobody out.
You're a glutton for punishment every day.
Feeling pretty good on this
You're
game.
a glutton for punishment. Bringing Rally Pig back out. All right. Just wanted to show that to you. We're on commercial break right now. Let me get my banners updated. It's 2-1 Mets headed to the top of the 8th. It does not feel like this game is secure yet by any means. If you're feeling comfortable as a Mets fan, let me know. But I think you're nuts if you're feeling comfortable as a Mets fan against this Dodgers team, even without Mookie Betts in the lineup. So Rally Pig is 0 for 1. All we really need is just even like 1 or 2 more runs. That is really all we're looking for. Yep, he did. He did. Mets got out of that inning. Sorry if I didn't say that. Yep. Teoscar Hernandez struck out swings. That was good. Yeah. So I think they said Betts might be available off the bench. At least that's what they said. Dave Roberts said. Now he could be lying. But yeah, I mean, there's definite options here from the Dodgers bench. I'd like to get at least 2 more runs in. So due up for the Mets is going to be Soto, Alonso, and Jared Young. You definitely could get a pinch hitter for Jared Young. I definitely don't quite get or understand the obsession with Jared Young. I like him as a player overall, but he's just hitting 176 with the Mets. He's 0 for 3 today. I think you definitely want to oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, Darren. I understand now. This was driven out to center field, but Pages is able to make the catch on the warning track. So once again, Soto is definitely seeing the ball better, able to drive it pretty deep, but not quite get it out of the park here this evening. By the way, I made a little video on this the other day in case you didn't catch this. CJ Abrams of the Nationals, he tied a couple of major league records the other day. That's popped up by Alonso. And he fouls out. That's going to be 2 quick outs for the Mets here. But CJ Abrams, he tied one major league record by getting hit by a pitch twice in the same inning. That's going to be a hard one to ever beat, 3 times in the same inning. I believe he was the 8th or 9th person in Major League history to do that. And then later in the game, he got hit a third time. And that list is a little bit longer, but became one of the few people who've been hit by a pitch 3 times in a single game. Yeah, Swaggy Marky V. Makes sense. Vientos drives it. Oh, he doesn't get all of it. I thought he had that. Gary Cohen thought he had that. Well, going to the bottom of the 8th. It looked like for sure he had that off the bat. If Soto hits a double, they'll hit Alonso. They might have. I want to show you guys this. All right. Everything looked good on this swing. I don't understand how this ball just died. All right, here we go.
And Vientos drives one to deep left field. Back goes Conforto. He'll have room in front of the warning track. That ball just died. Sure did. Oh, wow.
I mean, everything about that looked like a home run off the bat. That is nuts. I mean, he gave that a ride. That looks so good. I mean, Gary Cohen was into his home run call. All right, well, we're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets are up 2-1. It is a battle. It is the battle that we were expecting and honestly hoping to see, I guess, in my perspective. I want to see the Mets battle. I want to see the Mets get tested under pressure. So far, the pitching has passed every test. The Mets have continued, with the exception of one inning, to face Ohtani with nobody on so that he can minimally hurt you, which is such a huge deal. It's such a huge deal that you can just pitch at Ohtani and not have to pitch around him. That might be true, but everything looked like a home run off the bat. All right, it is Freddie Freeman. It is Ryan Stanek. He's got to hit the weight room. Maybe it was just he just didn't hit it as hard as it looked. The swing looked beautiful. The swing looked absolutely beautiful. Ryan Stanek pitching for the Mets here. First pitch to Freeman was a ball. Second pitch is a ball. Little wild here for Stanek. I guess just not enough power behind it. That's why it died. Just looks so pretty. Freeman gets jammed. That was going to be ball 3, and Freeman. That is such a rare thing. That Stanek got bailed out. Andy Pages coming up for the Dodgers here. Mets are just trying to find 5 more outs. How do you find 5 more outs and get out of here? That Giants game is nothing, bottom 9. Giants do have a runner on with 2 outs. Robert Suarez, the closer for the Padres, is in. Jung-Hoo Lee, one of the batting average leaders for the Giants, is at the plate. Pages chases. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, I mean, the Mets are definitely using all their premium A-plus arms in this game. Brazaban to Kranick to Stanek. Then I'm assuming to Diaz for the 9th. That pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, Pages swings at ball 3 there. Remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. Mets are up 2-1. Ryan Stanek pitching. Andy Pages at the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom 8. Good pitch by Stanek. Fouled away by Pages. Jung-Hoo Lee strikes out. It's going to be a 0-0 game going to extra innings in San Francisco. There's a base hit to center field. It was a good battle. Pages wins that one. All right, so the Dodgers are going to have a 1-out base runner. First pitch to Muncy. It's a swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Mets trying to figure out how to get these last 5 outs. That's just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Muncy. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by Stanek. One ball, 2 strikes. Stanek looking for either the double play or the strikeout here. See what he's got. Going up high, maybe? It does. It's going to be taken as a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first. Bottom of the 8th. Ryan Stanek pitching. Max, I got the munchies. Muncy at the plate. Ooh, that was a bad pitch there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Felt the wind from there. All right, where's he going to go? He's going to try to keep this low. Sound wave. Let's go Mets, baby. Let's go Mets, baby. Fouled away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I just want to see him try to blow a fastball again. Fouled away. Remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stanek is definitely putting the work in. Yeah, could be Reed Garrett. Let's see. I would assume. Let's see how. See who pitched yesterday. Here's the pitch to Muncy. Fouls it away. I mean, both Garrett and Diaz pitched yesterday. They both had 17 pitches yesterday. Driven out to right field and is caught by Juan Soto. That's another one that looked really good off the bat. Just didn't quite get it out. That looked just as much of a home run swing. Oh man, that's scary. He saw this pitch really well. Here, let me show you guys this replay. This is scary. This is where I was thinking I was going to have to put my hand in my head in my hands. Watch this swing by Muncy.
And he drives one to right field, but Soto is there. And he's got it. Just hit it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, so Vientos has looked like a home run off the bat, and Muncy looked like a home run off the bat. But in the end, neither of them were. Conforto's up, no balls, one strike. And Conforto drives this one out to right, and Soto makes the catch. So, wasn't pretty, but got the job done. So we're going to the top of the ninth. This is it. That's it. The last time your Metsies are going to hit today, hopefully. Just want to see if either Garrett or Diaz pitched on Saturday. I don't think either of those guys will pitch 3 days in a row. But both Garrett and Diaz pitched yesterday. Mets won 8-2 on Saturday, so I got to assume neither of those guys pitched Saturday. Yeah, neither of the guys pitched Saturday. Who pitched Friday? I mean, this is the Dodgers series. Like, you got to win these games. I'm assuming Diaz did because Mets won 4-2 that game. Yeah, Garrett and Diaz both pitched Friday. Reed Garrett pitched 17 pitches on Friday, Diaz 14. So, yeah, I don't know why these balls are dying. I guess they're just not getting good contact because they look really, really good. All right. We're actually going to go with the man, bear, pig. We're busting out the man, bear, pig for the here we go. The man, bear, pig. Wonder powers unite. Wonder twins power unite. It is Diaz warming up in the bullpen, guys. So unless the Mets can put up multiple runs here, like 3-4 runs. Mookie Betts and Will Smith are both available on the bench. It is going to be due up is Beatty, Tyrone Taylor, and McNeil. Mets have Acuna, Marte, both available. Of course, Terens is available too, but yep, Diaz is going to be pitching for the Mets, unless the Mets score 3 or more, I would assume. 2-0 to Brett Beatty. I'd like to see Beatty just at least have a longer at bat here, see some pitches. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Beatty hits it deep, but it just dies at the warning track. It looked good. That's going to be 1 out. Just not a good night to get the ball out. Ohtani did it, but he demolished it. And Lindor did it, but that was super early in the game. Maybe it was a bit warmer. Other than that, it's not really going anywhere. Tyrone Taylor is going to hit for himself here. Mets looking to tack on a run or two for some insurance. No balls, 1 strike. By the way, that hit earlier for Beatty has stood as a hit. Ooh, that was low, but they called a strike. No balls, 2 strikes to Tyrone Taylor. Well, thank you all for staying up late with us here tonight. Appreciate you. Hopefully, the Mets will reward us for a win. Well, that was a bad chase by Taylor. Tyrone Taylor strikes out. So the Mets are just saying, let's get through this inning and let's play the ninth. Jeff McNeil is also going to hit here. He's 1 for 3 on the night with a single. There's the first pitch to McNeil. Wow, that was outside too. Called it a strike. No balls, 1 strike. This ump is ready to go home, that's for sure. He has expanded his strike zone the last couple batters. I'm fine with that as long as he keeps it that way for Diaz. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. See if McNeil can somehow keep this inning going here. Fouled off his foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, here's a 1-2 pitch to McNeil. Lined right back to the pitcher. And that's it. We're gonna see who the Dodgers throw. You're gonna see some pinch hitters here. I think you're gonna see Will Smith and Mookie Betts both. If Betts is able to hit, you're gonna see him. It's the bottom of the lineup. Edman rushing Kim, trying to do whatever necessary to get Ohtani to the plate. Of course, the Dodgers could figure out a way to win it before Ohtani gets to the plate. Man, Bear Pig, no good. Nothing is good. Mets scored all their runs without any rally animals whatsoever. Just going to drink my juice of Newt. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Tommy Edman, Dalton Rushing, Hyun Kim are due up. According to Dave Roberts, Mookie Betts is available to hit. He's available as a pinch hitter tonight, so we shall see. Kike Hernandez is also available off the bench. And Will Smith is available off the bench. So I'm assuming we're going to see some subs here. All right, so the Mets are bringing Acuna in to play second base. Now that McNeil is out, Acuna is going to come in for defense. Well, if Edwin Diaz is trying to put together a campaign to opt out of his contract and or to get into the All-Star game, appearances like this will go a long way to accomplishing those goals. First pitch is going to be just low, a ball, 1-0. So Tommy Edman is going to hit for himself. You got to assume Will Smith is going to come in for rushing. And then maybe Betts hits for Kim. Depends on if Betts can play the field or not. That's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mets are just up 2-1. It's been a good game. And that is lined into right field for a leadoff base hit. And as always, it's never easy. Never easy against the Dodgers finding those last 3 outs. Wow. Dalton Rushing is hitting for himself too. No Will Smith off the bench here. Rushing's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today. Edman steals the base. That's going to take the double play out. Mets are not going to challenge. Edman almost came off the bag when he popped up. Almost. Fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes. So the tying run is in scoring position with no outs. That's inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All of a sudden, come on, Diaz. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel so good. So was Dave Roberts bluffing? Maybe. That's outside. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The count to Rushing here. Edman on second. No outs. Bottom 9. There's a strikeout. There's 1 out. Ohtani's getting up this inning, just so you guys know. Hyun Kim is coming up for the Dodgers. I mean, unless somehow there's a crazy double play, like a line out to second base or something. First pitch to Kim is a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Yeah, you might. You might have to walk Ohtani. I agree. I'd rather face Teoscar than Ohtani. Hit up the middle, diving stop by Lindor to keep it from going to the outfield. But Kim gets down the line fast. It's going to be runners on first and third. Well, now what do you do? I mean, it's a great play by Lindor. Definitely saved a run on that play. All right, we got a meeting of the minds at the mound. Probably the question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to walk? I mean, your options are you go after Ohtani. He struck out a couple of times. You can strike him out. He also hit a home run. He can win the game. You go for the double play. Or do you walk him and then try to get Teoscar Hernandez to ground in the double play? Double play time, strike him out. I think you go for it. So the Mets are going to play the infield in. Wow, how's that not a strike? How is that not a strike? Wow, that's a horrible call. That was absolutely a strike. The swing and a miss. It should be 0-2. Now it's 1-1. Yeah, that was 100% a strike. I can't go back to show you that right now because I'll miss the game. But flies out to left. That's going to score the run, tie the game. So it's going to be 2-2. We're gonna. Mets could not tack on those extra runs, and it comes back to bite them. It's a blown save for Diaz. The game's not over yet. Diaz is lucky that wasn't hit out. Ohtani did not miss that by much. That being said, that's still that was a weird play. I guess it's a strike. Yeah, that's a foul ball. That's a foul ball. This umpire is just missing every call left and right. So it's a stolen base when it should have been a foul ball. That's fouled down the line. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the damage is done, but my goodness, Mets are not getting any help from this umpire. I mean, he missed a clear strike right down the middle. I'll show you guys if this goes to extra, I'll show you between innings. If it doesn't, if the Mets lose this game, I'm done. Oh, that one was outside, but it doesn't get the calls. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mendoza needs to get himself thrown out of a game here. I need to see a little more fire. That's outside 2-2. Well, yeah, he did on the pitch that Ohtani hit. He missed his location. But that first pitch was like right down the middle. Here's a 2-2 pitch. There's a strikeout. I'm going to show you this, guys. All right, we're going to extras. Honestly, all things considered, Diaz didn't do horrible that inning. All right, here, I'm going to show you guys this. This was the first pitch of the at-bat to Ohtani. Look at how it's just, I know it's a little blurry, but hopefully you guys can see enough.
The strikeout. And he gets
There's you guys see that? That's 100% a strike. Like, not even close. I think the problem almost was Alvarez framed it when it didn't need to be framed. He needed to just hold it down there. I think he over-framed it. But I guarantee you that that's going to show as a strike. You know, if you look at the umpire report card or whatever. I mean, that was bad. And then let me scooch ahead to that foul ball. It turned out not to matter, right? But it could have mattered. And sometimes that's all that matters, is that it could have mattered. I'm just finding the first pitch here. I'm not going to show the whole thing because it's kind of a long sequence. But
strike.
So they're going to show the
And I think
replay.
that Carlos Mendoza wants to know if it was a foul ball.
Like you can see, the ball completely changed direction. That's why Alvarez missed it.
That's what Mendy's coming out of the dugout to ask. Did it hit the bat? Oh, it did.
Yeah, you could see it 100%. I don't know if the umpire, because the umpire got hit in the mask here, if he missed it. But like the only way that Alvarez is going to miss the ball like completely is if it's foul tipped. Yeah, it's 100% a foul tip. And the first pitch to Ohtani was 100% a strike. Like, look, the Mets, Diaz deserved to give up that run. And I actually think that was a pretty good performance by Diaz to only give up the one run there, considering what that situation was. But yeah, I mean, two clearly missed calls. Francisco Alvarez is leading off to the Mets. Mets have the Manfred man on second base. Alvarez hits this out to right field. That's over the head of the right fielder. Acuna was the guy, and there is an RBI double by Francisco Alvarez. Oh, did the Mets need that? That is Alvarez's second hit of the night. This is his first RBI in almost a month, guys. And that swing looks so good. Oh, the Mets needed that. Yeah, it's such a good. I'm going to show you guys this. The JD method finally worked. Yeah, Apo Taco. I mean, not quite the taco because it wasn't over the home run. We love Albie. All right, here we go. For those of you who couldn't see that, here's the replay.
56 at bats without an RBI, and now
Head
Alvarez
down,
breaks that drought.
went with it.
That's the old
Didn't
Alvarez.
try to pull it.
With
Yep, that's the old.
drive with opposite field power.
Yep. Good base run by Acuna, of course. I got to get back up to real time here. All right, Starling Marte is going to pinch run for Alvarez. That's pulled down the left field line. Starling Marte is going to score, and Lindor has an RBI single. The Dodgers think that was a foul ball. Well, that's okay. You just got two calls that went in your favor last inning. No tears lost here. Well, the Mets bats are waking up. How is Tanner Scott doing this year? Lindor gets back to first after the throw over. So it is 4-2 Mets. Tanner Scott is related to Rally Pig. I'm just trying to look up his stats for the season. Didn't pull pork. Yeah, exactly. I think we're just going to keep Rally Pig in hiding. Nimmo's going to strike out looking, but Lindor is going to steal the base. So there's going to be one out. The Mets are going to have a runner on second base. So Juan Soto is coming up with a chance to really give the Mets some breathing room. The good news is, too, the Mets are pretty far from Ohtani in the lineup. Yeah, the only way Ohtani gets up next inning is if the Dodgers win the game. Chopper down to first. Lindor's going to move to third. Soto's going to be out at first. The Mets are going to run around third with 2 outs in the top of the 10th. By the way, the Padres beat the Giants 1-0 in 10 innings. They want Ohtani to close the game. Their bullpen's been so bad. That's high. They're not going to walk Pete Alonso. They maybe aren't going to give him anything to hit either. So we'll see how they approach. I think Pete needs to be just looking, sitting on whatever pitch he wants, and otherwise take. Flies that one down the right field line. Wow, that almost got out of here. Just foul. We've been seeing the balls dying out in the outfield, and that one actually made it. It was probably about 2 or 3 seats just foul. That's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pete Alonso has an 8-game hitting streak that is on the line. Any hit scores a run here. Of course, you love a home run, but a single even scores a run. Fouls that one back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pete. Jose Castillo is going to be coming in the bottom of the 10th. Diaz is now in line for the win. Blow a save, but you could still get a win. That's why sometimes reliever stats are a little deceiving. Pete, good take there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mark Vientos is on deck. He came in for Jared Young earlier as a pinch hitter and has remained in the game. Here's the 3-2 pitch, 2 outs. There is a run around third for Pete. Pete fouls that one back. Hold on 1 second. All right. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Pete Alonso once again. He does not swing at the ball in dirt. Barely checked the swing. So Vientos gets to come up with an opportunity. Playing time has been a little hard to come by for Vientos. This would be a really good opportunity to tell Mendoza that he wants back in the lineup on a regular basis. Swaggy, Marky V, let's go. Let's do something. It's so quiet. So quiet at the game. There's a grounder deep in the hole at short. Vientos fell down. Vientos is hurt, guys. Vientos is hurt. Well, Vientos is hurt. I think that's exactly what that means. That's my first thought. That is 100% my first thought. If that's more than just a tweak, if that's an actual injury, that's Mauricio's call up. Yeah. And that might that gives him time to get back, because you don't want him to re-aggravate it, get his rehab stint in. He doesn't have options, right? But you can still rehab him. That might be exactly what's going to happen here. Unfortunate. Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's just like he just kind of fell weird or whatever. The other problem that the Mets face here is Terens has to come in and catch guys because Marte. So the Mets might have to use a pitcher as a designated hitter. The Mets have no bench left. So the Mets need to win this game here because the Mets are out of hitters. They went for it that inning and can't argue with them going for it. Well, that was a good. Freddie Freeman is up. First pitch is a ball. Teoscar Hernandez is going to be the runner on second, the Manfred man. 2 balls, no strikes. Oh, I hate this free runner thing. That's 3-0. Yeah, so the Mets have nobody left to hit. There's a strike by Castillo. 3-1 is the count. All right, that's fouled away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I thought for a second it was going to be catcher's interference. The way the glove kind of came off Terens's hand. So if Vientos is actually out of the game, he walked him. Tying runs on first, nobody out. So what Met pitcher are you hitting? Who's going to be your pitcher? Who's your designated hitter? It's got to be someone who you don't want to pitch. So you guys know they don't have to replace Vientos until they have to replace him. But here's the thing. Vientos made the last out. So if the Dodgers tie this up, Vientos is the Manfred man on second. So you're gonna have to it's gonna be your free runner. Griffin Canning. You probably don't risk a starter. I don't know if you can risk a starter. Who's you gotta find someone who's not available to pitch tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hits it through the hole. That's going to score a run. 4-3. Oh man, this could turn into something crazy here, guys. You're not going to pinch run Senga, Peterson, McGill, Holmes, Canning. The only 2 pitchers the Mets have left in their bullpen is Budo and Garrett, plus who's ever tomorrow's starter. First pitch to Muncy is a strike. No balls, one strike. Tying run is at second. Oh, the Mets need a double play so bad right now. Well, or a strikeout. Get the strikeout first. Yeah, so if Budo's warming up, that means Reed Garrett's going to have to be your Manfred man if Vientos is actually – there's a strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a call that Edwin Diaz didn't get. Umpire behind the plate is not having the best game in the world. Fouled away. There's a scenario. I mean, is there a scenario you let? So who's tomorrow's starting pitcher? Because the Mets are almost out of arms here. Two balls, 2 strikes to Muncy. I mean, how long can Budo pitch? I mean, it's Griffin Canning, maybe. Maybe he's your long reliever. Reliever. Strikeout. That's what we needed. Yeah, Canning. You throw Canning in and you just let him pitch tonight. You couldn't do that with Sanger or McGill maybe, but Griffin Canning, if you need another pitcher, you just let him pitch. Yeah, I mean, they're not even talking about this yet. Obviously, hopefully the Mets just win it here, but in my mind, I'm just like, since Michael Conforto's at the plate, he's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. You'll go Buto next because right. Yeah, that's a really late pinch hitter. All right. Well, now we're gonna get a. So there's going to be a pitching change here. Buto is going to come in as a late pinch hitter. This game is wild, guys. And if the Dodgers tie it but don't win it, the Mets have some. I'm going to just look to see if there's any early reports on the Mark Vientos injury here. So Vientos missed a game with a groin injury back in April. And then not seeing anything. Not seeing any injury report yet. So we've got a pitching change going on right now. You're not missing any of the action. Plenty of time to hit that like, hit that subscribe, since I'm feeling like this game could be over one way or the other very soon. Jose Buto is coming in. Can probably pitch this inning, and if he gets through it, maybe one more. But appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for all your time hanging out, especially since we're going super, super late on the East Coast, if you're like me, because it's after 1 a.m. If you wish to support this channel financially, the best way that you can do that right now is to do so through the Patreon, patreon.com/MetropoliFins. You can join our awesome patrons, Darren and Bifer, who support this. Gives you early access to some of the long form videos that we do on the channel, like the power rankings and some of the other ones. So, and the more patrons we have, the more games that we can cover like this, start to finish, all the way through. So if you're not able to, don't want to, don't like me, don't have the money, that's perfectly fine as well. But figure we just go ahead and mention it as that opportunity. First pitch to Will Smith is a strike. Will Smith is coming in as a pinch hitter. Dodgers have runners on first and second. There's one out. Of course, the Mets are looking for the double play ball here to just end the game. 4-3, Mets over the Dodgers, bottom of the 10th. That's outside. Good stop by Terrens there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's hit out to center field. Tyrone Taylor makes the catch. Freeman tags, is able to get to third. So the tying run is at third. It's Tommy Edman coming up on Tommy Edman bobblehead night. So 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Mets are up by 1. Jose Butto is pitching. As far as we know, he is the last pitcher the Mets have available in the bullpen. So should this game go longer, Butto maybe could pitch 1 more inning, maybe 2. But if it goes really long, then you're probably talking Griffin Canning, tomorrow's scheduled starter. First pitch to Edman is up high. In addition, yep, it's Tommy Edman bobblehead night. It's very scary. Makes you nervous? Yeah, no, this is big swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Butto. You know, this is why ultimately you got to rely on your teammates. You just have to, because you can pick high leverage, low leverage situations. Ultimately, in the end, who you got is who you got. We don't know about the status of Mark Vientos' injury, but we're going to find out quickly should this go. That's a nice pitch right down the middle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Mets just need to get out of tonight and survive. That way they can lick their wounds and figure out tomorrow. Because this would be so much better to end this here. Tommy Edman's going to call his timeout. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Do I get nervous? Not too much with this situation, just because it's a regular season game. It's fun, it's cool, but back to Butto. He fields it. Toss it. And the Mets get the win. All right. We've been wondering the rock solid relief performance. I know he gave up the run, but that's not his fault. It's going to Jose Butto there. That was such a clutch performance. Well, the Mets have won 3 out of the 4 games that they have played against the Dodgers. Yeah. Is Vientos being carried out on someone's back? Is that what I saw? I don't know if it's so. My goodness, so much stuff going on. What a game. First of all, what a game. This is like, to me, it is. It's such a good win, Casey, because of being on the West Coast. A lot of things did not go the Mets' way tonight. If Butto doesn't stab that, then it's a tie game. Well, we don't have to answer 16 games above 500. MVP is Blackburn. Yeah, can't go wrong there. Hit at 98 off the bat. Yeah. 4-3. Diaz gets the win. here's what we don't know. I'm very curious as to what would have happened. You were about to see, in my opinion, had the Dodgers tied up, you were about to see if Vientos is actually hurt. You were about to see a pitcher being forced to be a DeManfred man. Yeah, I don't think it can be understated. Alvarez's contribution tonight. You know, I like to see when guys are in a tough stretch, do they step up? We saw it right before Beatty was sent down to the minors. He had to come out of a tough stretch and he hit a home run. Alvarez knows that things were kind of on the line and there's a chance that he could go back to the minors. And he came through. First was the blue hit, but the second was that double, and it looked like the Alvarez I know. Absolutely. Great game, Rel. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Yeah, well, so the big question, and if you want to find out, you're going to have to just watch the post-game report. I'm sure you're going to get a report on Swaggy Mark EV. I'm hoping he just tweaked it. Remember earlier in the season, he tweaked his groin, and he sat out a game or two, and he was good. Hopefully it's just a tweak, not a major injury, but if it is a serious injury, we could be without Vientos, and I think there is zero reason that you would see anyone except Ronnie Mauricio called up. Yep, that's exactly right. And it's why ultimately I just want to keep cheering for my team. The Mets failing to get extra runs home definitely is something that needs to be worked on. I know it wasn't the greatest performance of the year, but I want to, I think it's important to shout out how Edwin Diaz did not collapse after giving up the one run, because the game was on the line and he was able to bear down. And I remember the Diaz of old, sometimes he would give up one run and then it was like almost a guarantee he'd give up a second or a third run, or in this case, two would have been all that he needed. Jose Butto coming in, getting the save. It's a big confidence booster. I know I'm not always excited when Butto comes in the game, but he came in, he did his job, got it done. So great win. Absolute great win for the Dodgers. So awesome. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, on your way out, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we're the last one out the door. Please turn out the lights. Let's go Mets, baby.